followed by Neil Finlay.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank Peter Serby for submitting the petition in question and the committee clerk and team for all their work. The debate on whether to introduce a register of interest for the judiciary in Scotland is an intriguing one. It is true that there is currently no such register, and alternative arrangements are in place which arguably compensate for this. However, it is also true that registering one's interests is now commonplace among all high office public service personnel, and that doing so increases transparency and accountability to the people we represent and serve. This is a point on which I would like to focus, and the main reason why I support the petitioner's call for a register of interests to be introduced. In Scotland, we take a great pride in our legal system, and the integrity of our judges and sheriffs are paramount. We place a great deal of trust in our judiciary, and it's things like the Judicial Oath, the Statement of Principles of Judicial Ethics, and the Judiciary and Courts Scotland Act 2008 that help us have a confidence that this trust is well placed. However, regardless of the level of trust we have in the judiciary, situations can nevertheless arise that may lead us to question the actions of one of its members and to doubt whether they have acted appropriately in exercising their individual discretionary judgment. The committee's correspondence from a judicial complaints reviewer, Moali, indicates that allegations of judicious bias have been made by members of the public in the past, albeit unsubstantiated. Implementing a register of interests would certainly reduce the scope for such doubt and would help to ensure a maximum public confidence in our judiciary. I am aware that every other category of public servant of high office, MSPs and MPs included, is required to complete a register of interest. It therefore begs the question, why should the judiciary be treated as an exception? Exceptions tend to create suspicion, which is something we should seek to avoid. Completing a register of interest is not an over-arduous task, and one, in my view, worth doing so to ensure transparency and accountability in our legal system. I'd be surprised if there were many members of the judiciary who did not share this view. In terms of a system of recusal, I understand that it is currently at the discretion of individuals to decide whether to recuse themselves from a case. Under these circumstances, I can appreciate that judges may be viewed as having too much autonomy over deciding when to recuse. I am pleased to learn that there is now a system in place whereby recusals made by judges or sheriffs are routinely recorded, and this information is now publicly available via the Judiciary of Scotland website. I thank the Lord President for initiating this action. However, I understand that this development, whilst widely welcome, does not go far enough to address the petitioner's concerns, as it does not disclose occasions upon which a judge decides not to recuse despite the existence of potential conflict of interest. Although I understand the conflicts of interest are on occasions declared in open court prior to taking on the case. The introduction of a register of interest would provide a more consistent and sound basis upon which to carry forward across the board. Ultimate priority must be to transparency and accountability to the public. Having examined the evidence provided to the committee thus far, it seems there is a strong case for introducing a register of interest with this purpose at its heart. Considering that there is a standard requirement for all other positions of high public office, I believe that this is the right thing to do. Having said this, care must be taken to ensure that a minimal inconvenience is caused to judicial office holders in terms of time and effort taken to complete and update a register, and to alleviate any ill effects they may have to be put at risk of by doing so. I look forward to hearing the views of other speakers in this today's debate, as it is important for us to gain as many perspectives as possible on the issue, in order to ensure that decisions are made in the best interests of the public, whilst protecting the privacy of members of our judiciary.
Thank you very much. I still have a bit of time in hand at this